What's racist this week? This week, a jeans advert featuring Sydney Sweeney is racist apparently. The vibe shift is real, alright. After years of fashion adverts featuring nothing but obese, transgender, ebonic, rainbow flag narwhals, we've finally got an advert with an attractive woman like it's 1982 or something. And what made the left melt down even harder is that it's an advert for jeans and she does a little dad joke about jeans with a G. Have a look.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney, Casper Jeans.
Obviously the left had a total meltdown over this because an attractive white woman being allowed in an advert is literally Hitler, and any reference to genetics is eugenics, which is definitely Nazi fascism.
We'd be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this. Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Yes, Sydney Sweeney is about to invade Poland, and I think Poland's kind of looking forward to it, to be honest. The reactions have been stellar. Left-wing news lined up their favourite Nurse Ratchet academics to condemn it.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Despite that backlash, American Eagle stock has been soaring.
Left-wing people who've spent the last decade nagging people into oblivion for daring to be white or attractive were outraged.
If anyone from American Eagle who was involved in the creation of Sydney Sweeney's most recent advertisement booked into my Pilates class, I would give them the hardest exercise class that I was capable of doing on the lightest possible spring load with 0 breath cues. And I would make it the toughest exercise class that they'd ever experienced in their lives.
They're literally saying the quiet part out loud, but was it ever truly quiet when you're wearing dumbass merch like this? I mean, really, make America great again. When was America ever great? Their definition of greatness was when this country was full of white supremacists and that slavery still existed. And now we have this interesting ad with a play on words where we pass on blue genes to those genetically with blue eyes. I mean, it's no accident that Sydney Sweeney's initials are SS.
Her initials are SS. Join the dots, people. A black activist said that this advert is going to lead to her being hung.
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not going to believe us until we're hung out there. But then even then, I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with... You know, I did a post about saying, hey, like, these are the action steps that we really need to see from the good whites. Where I said, I need protection. Put my cash out. And she goes, well, would you just rather white women just not follow you at all anymore? Because if you are any type of person, but especially a white woman who's coming to this platform thinking you're doing me a favor by clicking a follow button, leave now. Immediately now. Because honey boo boo, not this person, I'm doing you a favor by showing up and calling you out.
Yeah, thank you so much for your incredible favour of trying to make us feel bad about ourselves. The good whites. The good whites? And why are you posting your Cash App? George Floyd died like 5 years ago. Stop milking it. It looks like the white women are drifting away from this nonsense. And man, if white women are getting fatigued from this racial virtue nonsense, then it's over. This guy who's a reporter for the Young Turks says it pushes the idea of eugenics.
Hey, that Sydney Sweeney ad, that was white supremacy. That was eugenics. Don't try to be gaslit by anybody saying that it wasn't. We know about her family's history. We know that she took photos on a ranch, peak COVID, with family who had like Blue Lives Matter and MAGA hats. Already a tell.
Eugenics is the apparently discredited far-right idea that humanity could be improved by selective breeding. I mean, if that were true, farmers would breed animals to make them better. If eugenics is such a terrible idea, shouldn't all this fury be directed at the people who actually take it to the max, like the Pakistani families who tried to breed the ultimate Pakistani by marrying cousins together? And what are other academics saying? Academics are probably the best people to listen to because they're so smart.
But I am also a professor of something called narrative medicine. So I teach a lot about race, health, and narrative. And that is exactly why this ad is in my particular wheelhouse and why I will be putting it on my syllabus in the fall. Jean Kilbourne, who is a scholar of gender in advertising, tells us that ads just don't sell us products. They sell us notions of love, normalcy, sexuality, what families are supposed to look like, what bodies are supposed to look like. And so, it won't take anyone by surprise that in this ad where the barely hidden juxtaposition is made between genes, the things we put on our bodies, and genes, G-E-N-E-S, the genetic structure of our bodies, those two ideas are conflated, that the actress hired for this ad, Sydney Sweeney, is not just blonde and blue-eyed, but makes a point of being blonde and blue-eyed, right? She talks about in the ad parents passing on traits like eye color, hair color. And a woman of color would not have been hired for this advertisement. That is a purposeful act. Why? Because eugenics is deeply tied to the idea, the pseudoscientific ideas of racialized superiority. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is also the same person who was involved in a kind of soap collaboration, making soap out of her bathwater, which I'm not even going to get into the ew of that. But remember, soap has historically been a really fraught, racialized product because of the ways that darker skinned people are associated with race, pollution, all of those negative things, whereas whiteness is associated with cleanliness.
That was Sayantani Dasgupta, senior lecturer in the discipline of narrative medicine, whatever that is, at Columbia University, who's in no doubt that the ad is imbued with eugenic messaging. A woman of colour would not have been hired for this advertisement, she says. So what? A white man wouldn't have been hired to sell saris. You don't see me crying about it. And what if a woman of colour had been hired? Let's have a look.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring,
often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Okay, that actually was funny. What about the left-wing press? Are they reaching out across the divide and giving a fair and balanced account of it? Well, according to the kind, tolerant, anti-racist leftoids at MSNBC, whiteness is ugly and startling. Well, thank you. That's a very nice thing to say about me. I really can't imagine why young white people are abandoning wokeism. The left-wing newspaper, The Independent, said, while remarking that someone has good genes is sometimes used as a compliment, the phrase also has sinister connotations. Eugenics gained popularity in early 20th century America, and Nazi Germany embraced it to carry out Adolf Hitler's plan for an Aryan master race. You'll want to wear elasticated leggings instead of jeans if you want to stretch as hard as The Independent has there to blame Hitler. The Independent also said that it really began in 2022 after Sweeney posted a series of images and videos from her mother's 60th birthday party in which viewers claimed her family members could be seen wearing MAGA caps. An American supporting the president or a celebrity having the same political opinions as more than half of the electorate? So, is Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad campaign Nazi propaganda? Asked Hey Alma, which describes itself as Jewish, feminist and full of chutzpah, which is Yiddish for bollocks, I guess. These reactions might have done some damage a few years ago before everyone was fatigued with this stuff, but American Eagle's stock price is up more than 20% since the Sydney Sweeney ad came out. It's not like 2019 when H&M had a disastrous ad campaign. They had this picture of a black kid or kid of colour, whatever you're supposed to say these days, and he was wearing a t-shirt that said coolest monkey in the jungle. And I understand that's got connotations, You know, I can't believe it got past everybody's eyes at the ad agency and at H&M. And then everyone was sharing it on Facebook saying, oh, this is H&M being deliberately racist to get people talking about H&M. It's like, I don't think they were being deliberately racist. I don't think the H&M marketing department sat down one day and were like, guys, I've got a new strategy. It's racism. We're going to alienate 98% of shoppers and just go after that lucrative neo-Nazi market. But not any neo-Nazis. This is a very niche subset of the neo-Nazi market that for some reason is buying t-shirts for black children. Man, the neo-Nazis aren't buying t-shirts for black children. The neo-Nazis are all in the bed linen department buying white sheets.
Actress Sydney Sweeney had came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It looks like white people are no longer letting themselves be bullied into hating themselves. This is part of a broader trend of the rollback of polite fictions. We saw this with the gender woo-woo cult. For a while, everyone went along with the pronoun nonsense, but they were just being polite. Sorry, Eddie Izzard, but we could tell all along. Same with Western nationalism. We can also tell that Axel Rudacabana isn't a Welsh choir boy. And sorry, ad campaigns from 2019 to 2024, but we don't care how brave and important it is that you put some pride flag walrus in an advert. But Sydney Sweeney is hotter and more aspirational. The left should really look at the message that they're putting out, because what they're saying is that when someone is white and attractive, that's white supremacist far-right Nazi racism. I really can't think of a better advert for the far right, apart from all the other stuff the left do. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please share this video with someone who called you literally Hitler. And if you want to support me making these videos, you can sign up to my Patreon from as little as £3 a month and join a growing community of the only sane people left in the West. And what do you get for £3 these days? Not very much, and you don't get much from me either. Now, I'm moving house this week, so I'll have proper broadband soon. I can do more streaming and podcasts and stuff. And if you want to see me perform live, I'm doing some stand-up comedy shows with Francis Foster at De Hems in London on August the 14th and September the 26th. And I'm doing a solo show at the Attic in Southampton on November the 26th. Okay, thanks for listening. I've been Leo Kears. Bye. Bye.